Where are we? What is this? We ready?
You're ready to begin?
Let's call the meeting order 7:07. We start every meeting off with a prayer and pledge of allegiance. So if you don't mind, Mike, would you lead us?
Dear Lord, thank you for allowing us to come together as a community and be with us as we begin this meeting today. Give us wisdom, discernment, and guidance to reach the best possible outcome. Please be with our first responders and our military and those that put their lives in harm's way to protect us. Thank you for all of our blessings as we know they all come from you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. May we have the roll call?
Danny Wilcox. Danny Wilcox. Absent. Kevin Kirkwood.
Present.
Van Sands.
Here.
Eric Carlson. Eric Carlson. Absent. Mike Buck.
Here.
Dee Dee Schott-Grace. Robert Politic. John Gresham. That concludes the roll call. You have a quorum.
Thank you. So a quick reminder for those folks in the audience, please turn off your cell phones. And do we have a staff report?
Good evening, Mr. Chair, Planning Commissioners, Mark Dettenreiter, Director of Community and Economic Development. Just one item for you in terms of an update from Board of County Commissioner approvals that you saw before they did with your recommendation. On June 26th, the Board of County Commissioners heard Ridgewood Estates rezone. They approved that item, as well as Gerald rezone, also an approval. And that is all we have in terms of updates for you. Thank you.
Great, thank you. We'll open the floor for citizen comments. These are comments for anybody that wants to talk about any of the items that are not on the agenda tonight. And the crickets in the room tell me there are none, so thank you. We have no meeting minutes to approve, so we'll start the public hearing process. What this board does, we are a quasi-judicial group of volunteers. What that means is we take a look at the facts of the case as they're presented from the county, from the applicant. We look at those, we judge them on the merit against the regulations and the code for the county and against the plan for the county. And we find merit and make recommendations to the Board of County Commissioners based on those findings. So we'll go through a process very quickly. We'll go through an open public hearing where the staff will present, the applicant will present, and then we will open it up for public testimony. At that point, we want to look for clear and concise comments. We will close public comment and have an applicant rebuttal. At that point, if nothing's left, the board will have a board-only discussion, and we will take it to the next level and do a board motion and a roll call vote. Once that's done, we'll close the public hearing, and we should be done at that point. So with that...
Pardon me, Vice Chair. We need the reminder, the cell phone reminder.
I already said that.
I missed that one.
I beat you to it.
You did.
So that being said, let's open this up for public hearing, and staff, could you present, please? Thank you. Present.
Awesome. Thank you. Good evening, commissioners. Thank you for being here, especially with the holiday coming up, so I really appreciate it. For the record, I'm Kelsey Lanham. I'm with the Elbert County Planning Department, and tonight I'll be the one presenting the Brewer rezone, case number RZ-2023-6305. So this case is for the rezoning of 35 acres from agriculture to agriculture residential. The subject property does not have a specific address yet, so the way we are identifying it is by its parcel number, which is 63050-01-003. And tonight, staff is recommending that the Planning Commission makes a recommendation of approval to the Board of County Commissioners. The applicant is David Clark Brewer. The project initially began in October of 2021 when he had his pre-application meeting. Some time passed, but then he came in, we discussed a little bit, and a formal application was submitted in December of 2023. And the referral periods, the first one happened in December and ended in January of this year. And then the second one began in February of this year and also ended in February of this year. All were sent out for the proper 3-week notice the first round, and then the 2-week notice the second round. Just a little side note, this property does border Arapahoe County directly on its northern edge, but all properties within a quarter mile, including those in Arapahoe County, were notified as well. Here is a broad aerial map of surrounding properties. In the next couple slides, this red star is a little bit smaller, but the subject property will be identified with the red star. Like I said, this property borders Arapahoe County on the northern edge, and Douglas County is about 10.5 miles to the west. This is a more zoomed in aerial map. Nothing else to add, it's just more zoomed in. As you can see, all the surrounding properties are zoned agriculture, with most having residences on them. This property is part of the Vista Ridge subdivision that is fairly new, being established. Some of the properties do have homes on them, and still some of them do not. Here we can see the rezone exhibit. The subject property is on the left-hand side. It is 35 acres total, and the entire property is proposed to be rezoned to AR. These are the referral agencies that received and reviewed the application. There are no outstanding objections from any of those listed. And these 3 agencies did not respond. So according to the Elbert County zoning regulations, for a rezone, it determines that it must follow 6 criteria. Those criteria are: 1, whether the proposed rezoning conforms to and is generally consistent with the goals and policies of Elbert County's comprehensive plan. This proposed rezone does conform to the goals and policies. Number 2, whether the proposed rezoning is compatible with surrounding land uses. The surrounding properties are zoned agriculture but have a residence on the property, and it is within a subdivision. Number 3, whether the proposed rezoning would adversely impact the provision of public services. The proposed use will not adversely impact public services. Elbert County Public Works was a referral agency on this application and project and had no objections. Number 4, whether the proposed rezoning would adversely impact the environment. This proposed rezone will not adversely impact the environment. Number 5, whether the proposed rezoning would create unreasonable traffic congestion or burden the existing road system without improvements. CDOT and Public Works were both a referral agency, and there were no objections from either. And number 6, whether the proposed rezoning will not otherwise be detrimental to the health, safety, or welfare of the present or future inhabitants of Elbert County. This proposed rezone will not be detrimental to the health, safety, or welfare of Elbert County. With all that, staff recommending approval to the Board of County Commissioners of the rezone application RZ-2023-6305 with the following conditions. Number one, the applicant will be required to remove the public hearing sign within 7 days of the BOCC approval. Number two, the rezone should not become effective until all fees are paid, conditions of approval are met, and the rezone exhibit is recorded. And finally, number three, recordation of all appropriate documentation is to occur within 180 days of the BOCC approval. I am available for any questions. The applicant is present tonight to also answer any questions. If I am unable to answer specifics, I will defer to him, and likewise for him. Thank you.
Fantastic. Would the applicant like to speak to this? Would you, if you don't mind, stand up?
Sign in as well.
You don't have to sign in, just tell us your name.
I'm Clark Brewer. Thank you for your time. Really appreciate it. This is my project from a couple years ago. It's been lingering. I'm excited to make progress. It's helping make my American dream come true, my family's dream. Hopefully it can make some other Americans have their American dream come true too. So thank you for your vote. That's about all I have to say. Happy to answer questions.
Thanks, Clark. Appreciate it. There are a couple names on the list if you'd like to speak. We're going to shame you if you don't speak because you gave Dee Dee such a hard time. So, Grady Carter.
Yes, sir. I'm concerned with this on a few fronts. Firstly, the lots that are involved in this rezoning are not part of the subdivision covenants of Vista Ridge subdivision, which seems a little strange to me since it's all one subdivision. Why were these lots excluded? Might be because they're owned by the sellers and the nephew. Does that mean that they're not, they don't have to follow any of the covenants? Do they have access to the roads that were built that are being paid for by the other members of the community? And if not, are they going to build their own driveways out onto 194, which would impact traffic flow on 194, which is already washed out once? And building more drives could have a significant impact on that roadway and traffic congestion. You're going to put in stop signs, stoplights for 3 different driveways. Are you going to have one driveway? I don't know. What does that do to the water table? Adding more than the 16 lots that we have now that weren't there 2 years ago. So we're already draining the water table quite a bit. Subdividing this will put more strain on the water table. And also, does this open up for additional rezoning? So are we going to have more 10, 15 acre lots? There are no lots in this area within a 6-mile radius that are under 35 acres. So I don't see how this conforms with the neighborhood at all. Those are my concerns. Thank you.
That's great. Appreciate it. Dustin. I skipped a little step there.
No worries.
Name,
Dustin
address,
Wells, yeah.
and you have 3 minutes.
44505 Antelope Drive across the street. He already hit on some of the concerns, but again, on the website and looking at all the properties, even from our house to here, there is nothing smaller except until you get to the track homes than the 35-acre lots. And again, if we let one person subdivide, doesn't that open up a wormhole that everybody in those communities can now subdivide? So long-term, I think we're opening a can of worms. If we're gonna let one person do it, then how can we tell the next person no? And again, I understand that you guys are saying that all the research has been done, but nowhere from Antelope to here is there anything less than 35 acres. So how is that conforming to our community where we all moved out to have these lots, to have this space away? And again, now you're blocking the views and everything else. You're building these monstrosities. You're taking away from the peacefulness of the area that we've moved to. That's all I have.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to make a comment? With that being said, public testimony is closed. Applicant, if you'd like to rebut any of those comments?
Thank you for voicing your concerns. I appreciate it. Thank you for voicing your concerns. I appreciate it. I'm not trying to disrupt anybody's peaceful home environments, genuinely. To answer some questions, no drivers will be coming off of the asphalt road of 194. I think Road and Bridge would lose their mind if we tried to submit driveway permits like that. It's unsafe. You know, there's a big dip in both directions, so having minimal entrances in and out of the neighborhood, that's kind of just already set with the 2 entrances in and out of the neighborhood. We would do driveway permits from the dirt road, and we would participate and contribute to the separate road maintenance agreement, the private road maintenance agreement. So we would be contributing to the annual assessments through that. As far as the water table goes, I learned a steep learning curve over the last 3 years when working with the Colorado Division of Water. So they tell me, no, it's not going to drop the water table. I'll have to defer to them. You know, I was fascinated to learn that Elbert County really does a good job protecting their water with a 300-year plan. We had to submit a 300-year water plan, which is hard for me to conceive in my, mortal state. But most of the rest of Colorado only wants you to submit a 100-year plan.
Pardon me,
Without
Clark, would
boring
you
you
be
to
able to
details on
turn and address
sorry.
the commission in the microphone? Thank you.
So we are conforming with the Elbert County rules that supersedes the state of Colorado rules when it comes to a 300-year water plan, and we have water rights. And the end users can apply for well permits. It will not be a residential exempt well like every other home in the neighborhood. They had a residential exempt well permit, is my understanding. We tried to follow the Elbert County Master Plan, the revision of the Elbert County Master Development Plan. We tried to respect the Transportation Master Plan. We tried to respect the Economic Development Zone Master Plan. It's been a couple years, but I printed them off and read through them all. So whoever came before us had an idea, and I'm just trying to play by their rules. So, other questions at this time that I can answer?
I think that answers the question. I think we can, at this point, have the board-only discussion.
Mr. Kevin?
We may be asking you questions, so please remain at the top if you don't mind.
Just one more comment, if you don't mind, sorry to interrupt. And we are going to respect the dark sky request that we protect our light pollution. So with this comment of stoplights and stop signs and overhead lights to driveways, no, that's not part of our plan. And my understanding is that's not part of what anybody wants out there to disrupt the dark sky.
Thanks. Mike?
I just have one question. Is there any other lots besides the subject property that you as the applicant own along 194? Or is this the only lot that you guys own in the subdivision?
So I am a 1/10 owner on one of the lots next door. It's still retained under the name of Vista Ridge.
Do you have any family members that have an interest in the lot next door?
Um,
Or just 1/10 interest in yourself?
So I only have 1/10 interest in one of the lots next door.
That's all I had.
John? Okay, Mike? Robert, yes.
George?
Fred?
I think this is a question for the planning commission. So it's a rezone for 3 parcels, but the parcel comes under a single number.
So the rezone tonight is only for 1 parcel. Has not been any subdividing or anything yet. This is strictly just for rezoning of 1 parcel. And that's the
Parcel is 35 acres,
yes.
but it's labeled here as 3 parcels.
So that would be future steps.
Right.
They just,
So the subdivision of the parcel
Pardon me, Commissioner, your microphone.
The bribe didn't work.
It didn't work, sorry about that. No, that was really my only, clarification associated with the application was the number of times that it's displayed that there are multiple parcels that add up to the 35. So I'm good. Thank you.
Man?
Yeah, my question is on the water. I read through all of that,
Thank you. It's, I think, 20 or 30 pages or something.
but from my
It was
understanding, you can
expensive.
correct me if I'm wrong, you do have a replacement plan that has been approved?
That is correct.
Any water that you take out?
Most all of the parcel is on a not non-tributary portion, with one little corner being a not tributary, so that means we did have to create a replacement plan. And that has been approved.
It's like that, so.
Yeah, I think it's because we're within a certain distance of Kiowa Creek, but I'm not 100% sure on why that boundary comes through that lot.
Okay. Good, all right, that's fine.
Dee Dee? Mike, please.
Currently, we are just approving a rezone for 35 acres, like Robert said, for just this 135-acre plot, right? Okay. I guess I can't ask the other questions that I want to ask until
Until we
another time.
go after the plat?
Yeah,
Okay.
because there's nothing I can ask right now.
And I know this is early, but could you bring up the slide that shows the plat? That one.
Yeah,
Can you make that bigger for old eyes? Thank you. Just out of curiosity, how are you going to supply, is all the supply for access going to be off of 194? How are you planning to do the access for plots or parcel B and C? Just out of curiosity.
We were gonna,
Road to the east. Yeah, it's really not.
on the right-hand side there, you'll kind of see our dirt road. I believe it's 24 or 27 feet wide. And we have an asphalt apron that comes into entry point number 1 into Vista Ridge. It makes a U-turn, there's a second point of access from the asphalt road 194 for Vista Ridge neighborhood. And then we were gonna do our our driveway permits off of the dirt road and contribute to our private road maintenance agreement.
Yeah, I did notice that one of the things that was said during this process was that they approved the rezone from ag to ag residential, but they would not approve the plat based on the access. And so to me, that's kind of the open question is how are you going to resolve that when you come to that next meeting? But we'll leave it at that. The other piece of the puzzle is there was some confusion around the provisioning of water for each one of those plots. Again, it's going to be something that we'll ask again, but be ready for that conversation. That being said, I have no other questions. Anybody have any final comments, any final questions?
Well, just regarding water, okay. The order from the Water Commission covered how water was going to be transferred. Okay, I mean, it's a very long and,
Yeah, I read it, and what they talked about was the provisioning of 0.2 acre feet per household.
right,
And to me, that seems to be light.
well,
And then a return,
Just a little closer, sir.
and the return didn't suggest, that they were going to provision extra water. What they were going to do is they were going to take from the Arapahoe and feed it back into the creek for reconciliation, and they said the rest of it was going to be due to the septic system. That seemed also a little light in terms of how they were approaching it. And so I'm notionally okay with that, but there's going to be some challenges on the next round of this.
Thank you for the heads up. I'll reread through the 20 or 30 page book that I have.
Yep, do it again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, any other questions? I'll take a recommendation for a motion, please. Thank you.
I guess I will make a motion to approve the rezone.
Recommend it, please.
What did I say?
Approve.
No. Okay. I recommend that we approve the rezone RZ 2023-6325 rezone for 63050-01-003 and recommend approval from this board to approve it onto the commissioners.
Well, yeah.
Then you should have done it.
Any second?
Second.
I'd kind of like to change this structure a little bit. We don't typically vote in mass. I'd kind of like to do roll call vote. So, Mike?
I vote no.
Thank you.
The reason, you want to hear the reason
Yes,
now, or
please.
do you want to?
Yes, please.
6 miles is too far. That is not compatible with surrounding land use, I'm sorry. And then owning another interest in a property right next door, sometime in the future, you could be in here changing the whole makeup of that community with another rezone request, and then it would be compatible if we approve this one. I vote no.
Thank you, Mike. John?
I saw nothing to stop the rezone to AR from agriculture.
Robert?
Aye. I don't see any issue with the rezone in itself.
Okay, thank you. Dan?
I approve it. I think that my biggest question was the water, and I think that's well taken care of through the replacement.
Thank you.
Edie?
I will vote just for the rezone for this particular 35 acres with a lot of hesitation.
So that was a yes?
It's a yes, but, well, yeah, yeah.
Okay. I will also vote no with Mike. I believe that there's many challenges to be faced in terms of the land use, the conformity to the plan and to the neighborhood. The challenges to the covenant will be something that comes back and we will talk about. Again, same challenge with the plat that we talked about, and I think you still have a problem with water. So with that being said, I vote no. And that concludes our vote.
All right, I'll just recap, please. I have Vice Chair Kevin Cookwood, a nay. Van Sands, aye. Oh, Kevin Kirkwood is nay.
Said
Oh,
me-
he is,
She said me first.
yeah, it was aye for Van, yes. And then Mike Buck is a nay. Dee Dee is an aye. Robert Politic, aye. John Gresham, aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, we will close the public hearing. Thank you.
Thank you for your time, everybody.
I don't believe we have any work session. So I would recommend a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.